Hi everyone, very good afternoon. Myself Ekta Dubey. We shall be starting in next 2 to 3 minutes, just waiting for few more audience to join in. And thank you so much everyone. Hi all, very good afternoon. So before I start, if anybody can let me know, am I audible?
Yes, Ekta.
Yes, Ekta.
Thank you so much. So hello all, a very good afternoon. Myself Ekta Dubey, and on behalf of the Branalytics team and our partner Ozontel, we welcome you all on a very interesting webinar, which is Smarter Sales, better experiences, curating communicative and collaborative customer journeys in real estate. So before we start this webinar, I would quickly like to highlight some guidelines that you need to stick to and make you people aware of. I request all the attendees to be on mute when the speakers are taking the session. There would be a Q&A after the panel discussion where the attendees can ask their question, if any, to the respective speakers. The guidelines are you need to raise your hands, unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and you can put your question to our panelist. Also, we would love to keep the chat box engaging. You can put your questions there and we would take it from there as well. Now, before I move forward, I would like to introduce our partner, OzoneTel. To speak about them, OzoneTel is an industry leader with the customer experience space, offering businesses a robust omni-channel platform to manage end-to-end communication flows. The AI-powered full-stack platform has enabled over 2,500 plus businesses to simplify, manage, and analyze interactions at every step of their communication, customer communication, and engagement journey. The platform helps enterprises to engage with customers at every touch point across voice, chat, SMS, WhatsApp, and other digital channels. It fully integrates with CRM and other business applications and offers a truly omni-channel experience for the customers. OzoneTel offers its customers a global infrastructure that is fully compliant with the telecom regulations across the United States, South and Middle East Asia, and India. Now, moving to our very, very interesting panel discussion that we have, and today we would hear interesting insights on curating communicative and collaborative customer journeys in real estate. So now, I would like to invite our moderator, Mr. Prantik Goswami, Manager Account-Based Marketing with OzoneTel, to take this forward and invite all our speakers. Thank you, Prantik, for joining us, and over to you.
Thank you, Ekta. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Today, we'll be discussing the importance of providing a seamless and personalized customer communication in the real estate industry. We will discuss how we can ensure smooth collaboration and communication between the real estate organizations, the channel partners, and customers. But before we begin, we should introduce the panelists here. I will ask the panelists to introduce themselves. Ram, why don't you start?
Thanks, Prantik. I hope am I audible?
Yes, Ram.
Hello, everyone. This is Ram Pradeep. I'm working for OzoneTel Communications last 10 years. I'm working for organization as a product consultant. I have been into pre-sales and product consultant as well. And I'm happy to be part of this customer engagement for this real estate, right? It's happy to be part.
Yeah, happy to have you here, Ram. Yes. Next, Gaurav, why don't you?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon. Myself, Kumar Gaurav. I currently work as General Manager of Strategic Initiatives with Kalpataru. I also head the international sales for them. Been in the real estate industry for quite some time, overall work of 9+ years, worked across profiles, sales strategies, marketing strategy, and international sales. And yeah, really looking forward to this discussion. Hope it's an engaging one. So yeah, thank you so much. Over to you, Pratni.
Glad to have you here, Gaurav. Neha, would you please introduce yourself?
Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Neha and I work for the Embassy Group. I'm part of the IT department. I work as a senior manager IT applications. So I've been with the industry, real estate industry, for the last 4 years. And very excited to be here and part of this forum today. Thank you.
Great, great. Last we have Meet with us. Over to you, Meet.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for the invite, Ekta, and happy to be a part of this discussion. I'm a general manager at Obra Realty and I take care of digital initiatives, marketing strategy, and telesales for them.
Great. What a great mix of panel we have. We have someone from the IT team, we have someone from the marketing, we have someone from the strategy, and also product. Looking forward to a great discussion today. The process of buying and renting a house is a complex process in India, at least. There is the evaluation research part, then you go on to finalize the property, then comes the financial aspect of it, you close the deal, there's also the legal aspect. Similarly, for real estate companies too, there are several challenges which suppose the need to address the ever-changing customer expectations, coping with high volumes, high customer volumes, dealing with data security, need to use the latest technologies. We have heard that latest technologies like AR, the virtual reality being award, there's omni-channel communication coming to the beat. So to begin the discussion today, the question to all the panelists is, what are the key trends in real estate companies should watch out for with respect to customer engagement? Uh, I would ask Ram to begin.
Sure. Thanks, Prandik. See, from a customer engagement perspective, right? We will also focus on the real estate players. In the last 2 years, right? I'm taking a trend of last 1 to 2 years after this pandemic. There is a demand in tier 2 and tier 3 cities where this residential group, people wanted to migrate and settle down. The demand in these two tier 3 tier has become more. That's what I see, right? Personally, even I feel I want to settle in a certain good locations, right? For a better lifestyle. So for this, right, the real estate players, they can explore how to communicate, how to engage this customer and give a better experience when they're looking for a right, be it a vacant land or be it a residential property or a flat or an individual house, right? They would like to give up or offer a great experience or home experience, I can say, in this use cases when we talk in this real estate players can give an untapped customer engagement, customer support. That's what I see in the market.
Understood. Thanks, Ram. Gaurav, do you want to add on to what Ram said? What are the key trends we should watch out in terms of customer engagement and for real estate companies?
Absolutely. Thank you, Pratik. Thank you, Ram. Yes, I think what to add to what Ram was just saying, especially during the COVID period and post that, there has been a great emphasis on the digital technology. Multiple organizations have embraced digital transformation. There has been specific focus of organizations, especially developers, developing digital assets. So, from an engagement perspective, everyone wants to be omni-channel, right? They want to present across channels. They want to consistently reach out to customers. And if you look at the modern generation also, the new buyers that are going to, they already are, and the ones that are going to develop are the ones who are tech-savvy consumers, right? So they are using technological platforms. So technologies like metaverse, immersive experiences, and all other key focus areas where buyers, irrespective whether they're buying a real estate or not, the first set of engagement, they would want to do it online. They want to engage and understand. Probably if you look at the customer buying cycle from awareness to consideration to final purchase decision, and then probably advocacy stage, all of it begins with the first engagement. And digital transformation channels, whether digital marketing, digital, the IVR part of it, the engagement via these technological platforms is going to become very critical. So yes, these aspects are going to be very important. And then from a developer's perspective, if you look at the trends, more emphasis on usage of technology for data analytics to understand their consumer better. So when we talk about how to reach out from a distribution perspective to consumer, the other is once you're reaching out, how do you understand what is working and what is not working? Because digital is a big world, and it can get really confusing to understand your right TG and which is the most efficient and productive way to do it. So I think these are the two key trends which I already see developers embracing, but it is going to further, they are probably going to take it to a next level as well.
Thanks, Gaurav. Some very key insights, and what we understand that technology is gonna be key. Technology has always been the key, and we moving forward, technology will be the major driver for our customer communication and engagement. Since we have a technology specialist here, over to you, Neha.
Yeah, I would also agree with Gaurav and Ram. So even from my perspective, I would say again omni-channel engagements, then creating these digital journeys via metaverse or this 3D views. So all these actually provide a complete interactive and immersive experience for the consumer or the customer. Uh, so I would also like to add on to something here. This is something which is not currently, it's something which is in the development stage. So we can also see NFT tokenization, which we would see, completely getting into proper shape in next 3 to 5 years, wherein, where the real estate industry players do feel, or do face a challenge in maintaining all these documents and sale deeds and lease agreements, etc. So with the tokenization in place, when this actually develops in the next 3 to 5 years, we would see, less number of fraudulence and less number of disputable cases here. So that's one more addition which I would like to make, apart from what Gaurav and Ram added.
Thanks, Neha. Over to you, Meet. Your views on the same, please.
So I think the core fundamental sits around the fact that we have to build strong relationships with our customers. So that strong relationship can be built via effective communication. The communication has to be clear and the communication has to be transparent. Now, be it using digital channels to communicate, be it a personal touch where an RM is talking to a customer, a sales manager is talking to a customer, or a pre-sales agent is talking to a customer, then there should be consistency. So it is very comforting for a customer to hear the same sets of communication or the same sets of promises that a brand is making to them across various touch points. Obviously, there is that advantage of digital that real estate as an industry has been leveraging on. Videos in itself are growing day by day. The usage of videos, be it in advertising, be it uh, 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 for brand building on social or on paid platforms, be it for the experiences at the experience center. So if there's a visitor who comes to a sales office and he wants to know a little bit about the project, then rather than showing old static brochures have been digitized. There are videos. There are obviously, like Kumar, Gaurav, or Neha were talking about, there are obviously the entire digital experiences with metaverse that is currently being explored. And also, I agree with Neha's point in terms of transparency across the life cycle. So blockchain as a technology will play a humongous role. We are seeing a lot of use cases in commercial, specifically REIT has already picked it up, and residential real estate per se will pick it up in the next 3 to 5 years for sure. There's no other way around.
Absolutely. I guess you mentioned customer communication being the key to all this, maintaining the uniformity between the channel partners and your inside sales, your agents. My question to Gaurav right now is, I know it's very crucial for real estate agents, your channel partners, to maintain the seamless experience between the prospects, between your customers. What do you perceive being the biggest challenge in this with respect to customer communication, and where do you see the scope of improvement is?
Right. So I'll break the question into two parts. I think one is with respect to inside sales agents, which we prominently call as pre-sales team from a developer's perspective. The other is the channel partner. So now, if you look at these two segments separately, we'll try and understand what is the entire process of developing the communication. There is an internal stakeholder team of marketing, strategy, sales coming together, formulating a communication. I think first is we need to look at a collaborative approach of coming onto the same page and agreeing to a set of communication that needs to go out there in the market. A lot of times what happens is teams are working in the silos, and there is a gap there itself in terms of the design of the process, design of crafting a communication, which needs to get addressed. And if that is aligned, then the next step of how to ensure that what is going to be put out there in the market for us to identify prospects, identify customers. So this is from a design perspective, from a process. So these are the challenges that are currently existing. The next is information asymmetry. What happens, I think what Meet mentioned was to have that consistency across channels. I mean, we understand that as a developer, we want to be out there. The more we are sure about the key messages with respect to a particular project, what we want to communicate, and consistently harp on it, the greater is the recall of the customer, right? Now, how do we do that? Now, from an agent perspective, what normally the process is, we'll craft a spiel for them, we'll prepare a script for them, and then that script is what that agent should be using, consistently calling upon. But then there are scenarios which are unforeseen, and that particular script is not relooked. I mean, remeasured. The feedback is not incorporated, reincorporated, I should say, and that script is standardized to a certain extent where you would know what is working and what is going to be the standardized communication. Now that is something which is which is a challenge in terms of your communication. Now this would again vary with respect to at what stage of product is, whether it's a pre-launch, launch, activation, or sustenance. The category of the project, whether it's affordable, luxury, uber luxury, premium, these segments. And then bringing it all together, and from a partner perspective it becomes even more difficult, right? There are partners who have adopted technology advanced and have created multiple channels to source leads, where there are partners who still work traditionally, basis relationships, basis referrals, and loyalty from some of their XYZ businesses. So those are the two very key different aspects. Because of this, there are so many channels. These are the gaps which are existing. How do we bring it all together? So one of the key things that has consistently happened over the period of time is adoption of technology. New CRM softwares have kind of bought in. The adoption has increased. There have been improvisations on the dialing facility for pre-sales agents. Cloud telephony has become extremely critical. Now, what next? So so with the use of technology, what has also started to happen is you have started understanding your customer better. You have a central repository. You can consistently keep on updating it and pass on that information to your respective callers. You can have a facility wherein you analyze the profile of a customer. A customer might have visited your project in the past but might have not gone ahead with the booking, right? When he revisits, if you start the conversation from where he had left off, it's a pre-delight in itself. The customer knowing, okay, the brand understands me, the team understands me, and they understand what was the gap last time around, and hence the probability that this time would go through would increase. I'm not saying sure it will happen, but that would increase. So that is one area where CRM as a software, CRM as an application has consistently enhanced and improvised. The next, we look at it from a data analytics perspective. Now we see a lot of text being manipulated, text being inputted by the teams, a lot of recordings also being happening. Now, with the use of technology, there are new advanced technology analysis which are being done across industries, may not necessarily happening in our industry, where MI and ML and AI have got a role to play. Machine learning and artificial intelligence, what they would ultimately do is they would analyze the text, then analyze the speech, put out a set of information which would tell you that what is working in terms of productivity. These are the 10 set of leads meeting XYZ parameters would ultimately have higher probability of conversion. Now that is something which is really exciting. You don't need to do analysis on your Excels. You have a software in place. You have the recordings on cloud. That particular usage of artificial intelligence and machine learning, what it would do is it would do the analysis, it would pick the keywords and would analyze thousands of data and tell you if the parameter, these XYZ parameters, 10 parameters are being met at the lead level itself, the probability that would lead to closures would become extremely high. You would bridge that gap of inconsistent communication also, because you know what is working. You would standardize your communication and then you again bring it back into the loop. So the approach is to consistently look for feedbacks, deploy them, learn from it, and then bring it into the loop. So that's how you probably go ahead and do it, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thanks, Gaurav. I think that was brilliant answers. Some very key insights there. One was obviously the profile of customers. Then you talked about the profile of channel partners, some who work in the traditional way, some who have adopted the modern means. Then you talked about the modern use of technologies, AI, ML. Now, speaking of technologies, we know adopting to technology comes with its own set of challenges. And we'd want to ask Neha, what are the biggest challenges with respect to adopting technology for managing customer communications? And what have you implemented at your organization to address these challenges?
So basically, one of the, I mean, all real estate developers and builders would be, coming across this issue. So from industry standpoint, if you look at it, the traditional method of reaching out to your residents, basically, if you have a residential portfolio and then you have a community living there. So the traditional method of reaching out to them is via, either through emails you would communicate, or you would, go meet them in person physically, basically, and then understand what their issues are. So over here, basically at Embassy, what we've done is we've launched this particular app called Embassy Residential. It's a post-move-in app which caters to,
Yeah,
so
nobody better.
okay, sorry, I thought someone was asking a question. So it basically caters, it's a one-stop solution that caters to all your, uh, uh, from the time the resident basically moves into the community and he starts staying there, till the post-move-in support. So everything is catered through via this particular single app. It's called the Embassy Residential app, and here basically it provides all sorts of things, facilities and options. For example, say it starts from payment of your invoices, whether be it community networking, whether be it visitor management, the gate pass management. There are options like there is panic alert button. So with a click of one button, basically, you would have people, attending to your emergency situations. So all your invoices, your payments, your booking history, your facility booking, the amenities booking. So everything is catered to through this one-stop app. So there's gate pass, visitor management, which we've also integrated with the elevator access control systems in one of our properties. So this is the kind of solution that we've rolled out, and it actually gives a very personalized experience and nice interactive touch, basically, personalized touch to the customers, basically, when they have to reach out to us. So that's about the Embassy Residential app that I wanted to.
Thank you, Nee. You talked about personalization, and my question to Meet is, how do you make it easier for your prospects to reach out and remain actively engaged across all stages of funnel? Obviously, personalization is something all organizations now aim to achieve, and it is throughout, right from the initial point of discovery to the point of final transaction. How do you ensure that?
So you mentioned point of discovery. That's a very crucial point, because it's important to be available where the customers are looking for you. Now you need to analyze where the customer journey begins, whether it's beginning on a search engine, or it's beginning on a GMB listing, or it's beginning on Facebook, or it's beginning at a site visit level. Uh, the requirement for you is to be available wherever the customer is wanting to reach out to you, and augment it with an excellent experience on information disseminating. So for example, if a customer is on a GMB or is looking at your Google listings, and if he wants to reach out to you, he must have an option to visit the website and explore further details. He must have an option to see a number where he can call, or also chat. The chat can be a manual chat or automated via chatbots. Similarly, on other touch points, similar experiences need to be curated. Second bit is, once the customer's discovery has happened, it's important to give him the right set of information. So data personalization is also important. If a person has come to see details of a project versus if a customer is come and wants to quickly just drop in a detail and he wants a quick callback, both options should be available easily. So clear call to actions and clear information layering needs to be set across. Third thing I think that is important to have that needs to happen is the expectations on tags need to be also clearly informed. So if a customer is dropping a lead, informing him on in how much time can he expect a callback, or if a customer is talking to a pre-sales agent or a call center agent, and if the call is being redirected to a sales agent where we tell him that the sales agent will call you back, adding a layer of will call you back in the next 2 hours just adds that little bit more validity to what you're trying to say. And fourth important point is to be engaged. It's important to not be pushy to the point where a customer who's interested in a purchase process says, look, you're calling me too much, I think you are desperate to sell and I'm not interested. You have to keep engaging, you have to keep talking to the customer, and it's important to listen to what he's saying, and it's important to analyze what he's saying. So all of that combined, I believe, creates that entire experience on easy to reach, and the center of all is data. So people go with a lot of decision making based on guesstimates, but I think it's important to understand data, and there's enough and more data. Most of the real estate companies now are using sophisticated CRM solutions. We have analytic tools in place, and we also have the capability to analyze data. So it's important to understand where the traffic is coming from, where the customers are coming from, where they are looking for us, and be available with the right set of information there.
Thanks, Meet. I think measuring and having all your communications in one place, be it your internal communication, be it your external communication, which we call as omni-channel right now. And I think, Ram, would you want to tell more about these? Like, what are the measures would be ideal to take with respect to internal and external communication to create a holistic experience for buyers?
Sure, Prantik. I think all these points, if I collate, right, the industry experts have told about their approach, how to communicate with maybe say to start with a prospect, the buyer, then who is really actually coming forward for taking the property, right? So in all these areas, the one common point is the communication. Like you mentioned, omni-channel. Meet has already highlighted putting all these in one place. So this is something, a 360-degree view is something needed for the guy who is front-ending to the prospect or a buyer, right? So like Neha had mentioned one point, the payments or emailing to them in real time is something we have to take care. So to keeping all these points into consideration, so let us say if we have one tool, like Meet has highlighted, probably someone is using a sophisticated CRM application, be it Salesforce or be it any XYZ CRM in the market, where all the customer data is in place. And why don't we add up a customer engagement tool like Gaurav has highlighted, the cloud telephony piece can be added into place. This can hold for calling purpose. Let's say if you like one of the points which it triggered my mind when Meet has highlighted, when someone has come on a web page or a landing page, they asked for a callback. They might have entered their number, they might have entered their details, but expecting that call back immediately. They will be expecting, I will be getting a call back in next 1 hour or 2 hours. There is no actual information given. So why don't we merge these two tools? Like I said, one is a CRM application, the second is a cloud telephony tool. We should sync these two tools through an APIs, right? So when someone fills on a form on a landing page, consume these APIs to push these numbers into dialers. The cloud telephony, what it does, generally makes out a call. So it is some intelligence which is already in place in the dialers, right? So let us keep those intelligence with through APIs, and the seamless experience happen when a customer clicks on a call me back or call button. They get a notification on the landing page, or they get a notification on an SMS. Now this WhatsApp has come into picture, right? Like Neha said, we would like to send out notifications or email reminders or anything. So before that emailing also, you can put another layer, sending a WhatsApp notifications, isn't it? So these, if we can merge these two tools in one place, and agent can make out a call, auto dialers will dial out the communication for communication purpose. This becomes a barrier. And while the call is on, right, when the two parties are in place or on the call, they can see the 360-degree view of customer data, right? So when during the conversation, they can send out an emails, they can send out WhatsApp notifications, all this can be taken care inside the same tool. Now the digitalization has evolved so much. We'll have a unified experience within a single tool. The call center agents, the real estate agents who'd like to make calls, right? They can have a one common tool. Within the same tool, they can have an iframes, they can have a small window which can open up, and they can make calls, receive calls, call controls, putting them on hold, gather the information in real time, then or you can transfer the call or put someone into conference, the developers into conference, so that they can have a instant communication with the third party conferences, right? And during the call, one of the points we discussed in this call was the location is also important. Who is in need of a certain locations, the details. During the call, they can send a SMS notifications or WhatsApp notifications of which are defined templates, right? Within the tool, all this can be configured, and one can have a common or unified experience during the call, or after the call, they can send out emails if needed, right?
Thanks, Ram. I think your answer very much answers a question that we have on the chat. There's a question by Mr. Gautam who says that tech is the future beyond doubt. And how do we ensure that we use what is the best, simple, and most effective digital initiative for customer point of view? Like he says that too many new things might be confusing for what the CX stuff and also from the customer point of view. Like how do we measure what is the best and having the maximum impact on real estate industry process? So I think what the question is, what is the best and the most effective digital initiative? Since we were talking about customer communication, I believe this question is related to customer communication and customer engagement. Would any of you want to take this up?
Probably I'll have few points, then maybe Gaurav or someone can add this to my points. So Gaurav has already highlighted one point. We should find a right tool which can help you with artificial intelligence. So these are all the features available in the market. So we have to find out a tool which can provide you. So we have to find out what is our goal, what is our strategy now. So ultimate the strategy is bringing the customer experience better, right? So for that, what is the data you will be needing during the call, or when someone puts on a request to your application or a platform, right? So we have to identify what is better tool which can help you with all these metrics. For example, like Gaurav has mentioned, the speech or AI intelligence. Anyways, like I mentioned, the cloud telephony application is providing your voice recordings. You identify which is a good right telephony vendor, and is that vendor is also providing your keyword recognitions. Right now, after the call is completed, the voice application is ready to convert the voice into text. The speech to text is readily available in the market. Is that provider providing you this feature? If yes, what next? Then we identify the keyword spotting. Now that there's a transcription in place, right? After the transcription, are you trying to find out the whole 5 minutes recording or 3 minutes recording of a call? Is the right keyword is available? Are you tracking in that way? So find out if that vendor is providing you such intelligence of keyword spottings. Okay. And on top of it, they will give you metrics. How many keywords are spoken in this call? So, and what is the customer, when he's talking with, what is the sentiment analytics, right? Whether they are in anguish, whether they are in, having a trouble in talking, or you will identify their pain points during the voice tuning as well, right? Such metrics are also defined nowadays. So all these metrics you have to collate and see if this is the right tool. Can we merge these two tools? Or I can say a good term in the IT standards, integration is in place with the CRM in the market, what you're looking for, or is there an APIs available? So not too technical to come to a common point is, can we have a common application which can match these two, and all the metrics can be derived or not, right? So like one of the points Gaurav was mentioning, the pre-sales team, support sales team, there are multiple touch bases where these customers are coming, right? So in all these touch bases, are you putting these metrics in a, maybe you don't want the keywords during the onboarding or during the first phase, like pre-sales discussions, right? So you can put this keyword spottings or intelligence after the call, after the buying experience, right? So such things you can define. So finding out the right application which can have all these metrics in place. So if we focus on these points, I think you can derive, or you can come to a, yeah, you can come to right solution. Maybe you can add, maybe to this, Gaurav, or someone can add some points to this.
Yeah. Yes, Ram. So adding to what Ram had said, I think we've covered the tech part, where we have talked about the importance of AI and ML in understanding what is going on. But the usage and adoption of technology would also depend upon the business need. I mean, it would also depend upon the scale of the organization, the kind of business that they're looking to do, and how do they want to reach out to a specific set of audience. My approach as a developer would be very different to reach out to an affordable customer vis-a-vis, let's say, a luxury customer. The touch points would be different, and hence the usage of technology would also be different. It would depend upon geographies. If I'm reaching out to an outstation customer or an international customer, the usage of technology, when we talk about metaverse, those kind of experience are more relevant with respect to geographies. Do I have that much of international business coming in for myself as a developer, right? And if I am, let's say, an institutional channel partner, the likes of mandate partners, they have entirely different set of requirement. So to understand the relevance of the technology, the scale of business, customization with respect to what your business needs, whether it is to drive productivity, whether it is to drive engagement, to drive a better experience, or the focus is on ROI. All these factors have to be taken, to be considered separately and then together. As I say, the whole is always greater than sum of its parts. First, you need to look at each one of them individually, then bring them all together and probably come with an output which best suits your organization. A grade A developer would have a different set of requirement with respect to AI ML. Probably a grade B would want it to be outsourced, some sort of a consultancy, so that it's a pay as you go kind of a use, the adoption of those kind of technologies. Some of them would want it to be developed in-house. So these are more on those lines. So understanding of business needs and then filtering out the technology, its impact on costing and business, and of course the customer needs. These should be considered while we're trying to shortlist technology.
Thanks, Gaurav. Anyone wants to add to this? No. I think Gaurav will move on. Gaurav, you mentioned about channel partners. And you also mentioned about information asymmetry being earlier. So my question is, we have these channel partners or your field agents who are there, and we also have your team of inside sales team. So there is a chance where there happens to be the information mismatch. So how do you connect this entire network of brokers, your sales team, and how do you ensure that the communication flow is in one place? There is no, maybe across the timelines. A customer might have reached out to you today, and he might be reaching out to you after 3 months or 4 months later. And how do you ensure that he is speaking to the same broker, even if he's arriving at different channels to you?
Okay. I think first of all, most important aspect is to understand and take cognizance of the fact that these two are extremely important part of the real estate ecosystem: the channel partner and our pre-sales team, the in-house agent. Channel partner as a vertical, as a distribution center, effectively contributes in the range of 40 to 70% for a developer's business, and probably more if it's a north region. And there are different sets of partners. Some of them are tech savvy partners who've got good team. Some of traditional partners who want to do well, but they need guidance and awareness. And I think that is my first point, wherein you need to educate your partners a lot. I'll share one example of while I was working with a developer, we were in the middle of a launch of a greater than 2 CR category of product, and this partner was very enterprising, has been doing some excellent business for us, started his own campaign. The campaign was 3 BHK at a price of 2 BHK. And he was so confident that it would help him generate more and more leads. He would bring in more walk-ins, get more business. But what he was ultimately doing was he was sending out a separate set of communication vis-a-vis what the developer was trying to project. All that effort of segmenting, targeting, positioning, and curating a very unique positioning for the product was being diluted by a different set of communication being shared by that partner. And the intent was good. The intent was to bring in more leads, bring in more walk-ins. So how do you tell them, right? So you identify your partner sets. It's more like key account management. You understand what are the kind of partners, what is their potential, and then bring them all together onto a platform. I mean, as simple as solution like a Google Drive, you have your repository of communication project-wise. You can give them access to your partners basis the registration. Very simple solution, right? It's not at all costly. They can retrieve the collaterals and creatives from that particular place and then can send it out into the market. A more advanced version of it could be, you build a dedicated application, but some of the developers have already started doing. Right from onboarding the partner to allowing him to create his own version of creatives, with his customization of their names, their logos, but ensuring that the essence of communication remains the same, which the developer wants to communicate. So what essentially you're doing is you're creating a controlled environment wherein you are now the owner of what needs to go out in the market, right? With the use of technology, and you can consistently update it. And there is no manual dependency, in this kind of a process. And then there are value add-on services also. The partner gets an understanding of how the lead is flowing, what is the current stage, whether it got booked or not, how are others doing, what is the stage of invoicing, all the different aspects. So this is one way wherein we can collaborate internally as a team. We can retrieve data, we can store data, we can analyze data, and then present that set of information to the partners. As far as our insider information is considered, inside agents are considered, we can share this information with them. As Ram was saying about the integration part, with respect to cloud telephony, probably an advanced version. It can pop out, if the calls can further be segregated between inbound calls and outbound calls. An inbound call from an existing visitor or a lead which has already visited 3-4 months back could pop out in front of the dashboard of that particular caller with the snippet of the details of the prior conversation and a crux summary of it. That could be done as a simple step. A more advanced version could be further analysis of the speech to text thing that we were talking about, with the usage of AI and ML. And then the conversation could also be customized. What do you want to talk about? What was the specific thing that was missed last time around, right? And this could all lead to more standardized way of communication, because your intelligence is telling you this is what you need to be communicated. This is what this particular customer wants, or this particular project needs these kind of communications. And these trends and analysis curated over a period of time with multiple sets of data. Greater the data set, the probability that the inference that you get from your analysis would also be higher. The trend would lead you towards the right direction, right? So I think, yes, a culmination of all this with the usage of technology, we can definitely look at creating more symmetry in terms of a communication strategy, which we have already seen some developers adopting and are reaping the benefits of it. It's time that more and more people accept the fact that embracing the technology is the way forward, and more its inculcation in our day-to-day sales operations would only yield better results. Yeah.
Thanks, Gaurav. Ram, do you want to add to this, like how offline agent, channel partners, communication? You're on mute, Ram.
Thanks. Yeah, like Gaurav rightly mentioned, it's a right communication to be given during the conversation, right from the start till the closure of that project, right? for such big projects, obviously, right, Gaurav, you might have seen in your use case, because it's such a big CR project, isn't it? So they would like to communicate directly one-on-one with you. So they don't want to again call a common call center number. If you do a personal calling, there is no tracking of the call recordings, right? So I from a communication perspective, if I see, I recommend they can go with one virtual number concept, 1:1 mapping for all these guys who are communicating in real time to their customers. So they all can reach out on a common number. For example, if it is a Bangalore, 0802345, some number is given, which is displayed, and they can provide this number in their emails. They can provide in their WhatsApp, right? Now this technology has come up. The same number, the voice number which we publish to the customers, the same number we can enable for WhatsApp as well. Okay, so for this communication, these guys who are calling on that number, it's a 1:1 mapping. The call straight away comes and connect to their personal number. The number which is intermediate is a telephony number which can host concurrent calls. N number of customers can call upon one common number, and that number is coming back to the same project guy, or I think you call it as a relationship manager for this project. So the calls are directly coming to their personal number, but the barrier, the intermediate number which we are enabling, can hold number of calls they have taken, the call recordings, all this information is in place. And when they would like to make an outgoing call, because it's all big project cases, they would like to maintain the sanity of the communication, right? So they can use a mobile app to make a click to call. Like, you can do a one click away, the call can be initiated, and even through this number, the outgoing calls are also tracked and recorded, right? And in case if customer replies on that number, either a SMS or either a WhatsApp, right? The same virtual number we will enable such that the messages are coming back and connecting to the same relationship manager. So this way, they are not typically on a technology login, right? Let me use the term called online. They are not online, they are on the foot, they're on field, traveling from one place to another, maybe say one project to another. So they're in a third floor, fifth floor. They just have a mobile phones to communicate, right? In this kind of era of on the running pace. So they would like to still communicate and track. So this is something we term it as a offline calling. The partners can still take the calls, still take the messages from the customers. And by end of the day, all the data is being pushed into CRM. So the data is still maintained and our goal is achieved of communication.
Thanks. Next, we have two questions on the chat, both from Mr. Vikas. I think this question would be in line to what Mr. Meet had earlier mentioned. So the question is, in line with the current discussion from the customer point of view, how can we minimize unsolicited communications about real estate projects, given the customer being at different stages of property search? Like we discussed about customer being at different funnels. There might be some communication which might become irritation for customers. How can we accurately identify the exact needs of customer based on her online presence on platforms or any electronic media? Mr. Meet, Miss Neha, anyone?
Sure. I can start. So I think first and foremost, for this, a unified customer information at a single place is extremely important. So having a core CRM in place and having the cloud telephony system integrated well, like Ram was saying, is extremely important, so that you can track the customer's life cycle from a lead stage till an end booking stage. There are ways and means of also integrating unique IDs of customers even pre-lead, so tracking from a discovery stage as well. Second is, it's important to the importance of linking the cloud telephony system is also to link back communication. So if a customer is reaching out to you again, or there's a communication being established again with you, the agent can pick it up from where it had left off, or agent can address the concerns that were not addressed last time around. Third thing that is important is also ability to share information, not just verbally, but also be able to share information via some tangible mediums. So for example, if a customer is asking for, say, a brochure, uh, does the agent have a capability of being able to send that brochure to him over WhatsApp, over email, over SMS, then and there, so that his query is not unresolved? Or if there is some question around possession dates, then can that be addressed by the agent, or can that be addressed by the sales manager and can be redirected effectively to him, communicating that the customer is asking for the details of possessions or asking for a details for a specific unit on a specific floor in a specific tower. So I think a single source of information is important, and technology to route the right information where the customer communication is being picked up from is also important to create that single holistic view of the customer.
Great. Thanks, Meet. Anyone else wants to? No. Okay. Moving on, I think what we have been discussing or what we have been talking a lot is the word agent. We know the agent is the one who has been doing all the talking to the customers, doing through various stages. My question to Neha is, we know unhappy agent translates to a better customer experience. What initiatives have you taken to improve your agent experience? And have you in turn seen that a happy agent translates to being serving a better customer experience? Over to you, Neha.
Yeah, so from industry standpoint, if you would, want a happy agent and want to improve the experience for the channel partners, basically, it's basically, you first of all, give them good, you should organize good training programs for them so that they understand what product and services, what your company is basically trying to sell. So they should have a very good understanding of the brand value of the product and services that the company is offering, and then that basically helps to retain the reputation of your company. Then secondly, there should be good reward and recognition programs, basically, good nice accelerator incentive programs, and payouts on a regular basis based on the deals that they crack. Thirdly, from the tech standpoint, I would suggest that they should have access to a centralized system of ours, basically to our inventory. Of course, in a the access can be controlled based on what you would like them to see and understand, and you would like them to take ahead. And if they have that access to that centralized repository, it becomes very easy for them to understand what they are basically, what information they are supposed to, send out to the customer, and how they are going to interact and deal with the customers, providing with them with the right set of information that's actually required. So that access to centralized dashboards and the incentives that are associated with each deals they crack. So all these things, if they are, tech driven and provided in a single platform with proper reward and recognition program, it really helps to improve the channel partners' experiences. So this is my take on this question.
Mr. Mate, would you want to edit? Also, if you can include your view on inside sales agents, your inside sales team, both. I'm calling them agents, but they're also part of the team. How do you enable them with technology? How do you ensure that their experience when it comes to dealing with customers? Ms. Neha told about training and providing with the right training. Also, I think with respect to training, one other thing which is very important is monitoring the to ensure. How do you ensure all this is in place?
So I think one important aspect to it is consistency. So when we talk of the internal sales teams or agent partners, it is important for the two to liaise together well, because at the end of the day, any agent, external agent or channel partner will be liaising with the internal sales team for end closure. So it's important for them to be speaking the same language. So Gaurav gave a very classic example of a campaign going completely wrong, where the intended marketing strategy was something else, and the agent was marketing something else altogether, where 3 BHK at the price of 2. So I think that's something that is extremely important to be addressed, and that's something that, since the sales managers within the company are always in touch with the agents, it can be addressed pretty easily by establishing communication, by establishing some control measures. Second thing that is there is being able to augment it with technology. Technology, we've been talking about controls, and we've been talking about information, but it's also about experience enhancement. So what can we do to make as a company, to make the lives of sales agents entire sales process better? What do they require? Do they require tablets that they can carry along while they are doing a sales pitch, so that they can show information upfront to the customer, be it a digital brochure, be it a virtual tour, be it something that you had shot and you'd like to show, uh, or being able to record end conversations. So after every the conversation of a sales manager doesn't stop at a visit. There are obviously conversations that are happening after a customer has made a visit, via phone, via chats, via WhatsApps, where information is being exchanged, and communication is being established. Whether there is sanity in it, and if there is consistency in it, and if that life cycle is also included in the CRM, I think that makes that becomes a game changer.
Understood. Thanks. Next, I think there's a question direct to Mr. Gaurav. The question is from Mr. Vikas Kumar. Given the restrictive clauses in channel partner agreements for marketing collaterals for respective projects, apart from creatives and communications, what sort of thing can be done to enable channel partners to reach out to customers from builders' end?
Sure. So I think this is an extension to what we were discussing earlier also, where we were emphasizing the usage of technology as a platform, wherein we develop an environment, a controlled environment of providing creatives and collaterals. And the objective is not to have a controlled mechanism. The objective is also to enable partners to take that burden of designing and going out, hiring a designer or having a graphic designer in place for themselves in-house. We would enable them as developers through that online platform, wherein they can download that creative and send it out for communication. Now that would also help us the developers, to ensure that the stringent brand guidelines are followed. There are a lot of grade A players, a lot of corporates who have started entering this space and are very particular about what goes out into the market, right from the color theme to the usage of logo to the usage of domain. I mean, I am very sure each of my fellow speakers, fellow panelists would have come across this problem, that let's say the developer's name is XYZ, the partner would create a domain name abc.xyz.com, abc.xyz.abc.com, these kind of things. I think what is important is also to help them educate, make them aware. What they are trying to do is leverage the best opportunity, be it in a street smart way, or be it in a cunning way, whatever you want, whatever way you want to put it across. But they are enterprising, they want to do business. This is the entrepreneurial spirit that they are exhibiting. But somewhere if they're going wrong, we need to identify and course correct them. It's not something that you want to hinder their excitement, hinder their enterprising nature. You want to mitigate the risk of putting the brand out there. And how do you do it? By developing an environment where you enable them with the usage of these collaterals that are required and essential for them to take your brand out there in the market, put a word for it. These are the guys who would ultimately be advocates for your projects, in key influencers, bring in the partners, new customers. So I think that is where the usage of technology as a platform, where you bring all of them together, It can be an application, it can be just a web URL wherein you have some storage available. You can store these creatives on a cloud and grant them access. This is the roles, this is the registration that happens. So as simple as that, it can be put forward. And one of the best ways to limit the misuse of the brands. And of course, the agreement does cover the brand guidelines and everything, but I'm very sure very few partners adhere to it. Some of them might not even go ahead and read it in word to word. So we need to enable all these things so that as a practice it gets established. Once standardized, I'm very sure it would get standardized at some stage. It would definitely mitigate this risk and help the partners also to do and perform better.
Thanks, Gaurav. Enabling your channel partners is a key learning which we'll definitely take away from today. Next, we have another question from Mr. Gautam. I think it's two-part question. How can technology help build a strong loyalty sales program for CRM team? That is also how to ensure repeat buyers happy with CX services approach developer team first, and it is very easy to use as well. So I think it's about the loyalty and talking about repeat customers. Anyone who can take this up? First is the strong lead.
So
Yeah.
I can take one part of the question up. When we talk of loyalty, and I'd like to take Ubra Realty's example here. We have a strong loyalty of our existing customers, and the fact that we've been getting that loyalty consistently is not just with the use of digital technologies, but also with the use of right technologies in constructions. So we've been consistent in providing quality products. At the end of the day, the product is the king. So if you're giving the right product, if you're giving the product that is promised, or over delivering from what it is promised, is where you can really drive loyalty. No matter what kind of loyalty programs you run, if you don't have the right kind of product to sell, you will struggle in selling that product. And second bit is that being honest as a brand. So being honest in the kind of communications that you're doing to the customers during their entire sales and post-sales journey, delivering things that you had initially planned as per the plan. And continuing to establish communication with them even post a sales journey is something that can drive loyalty.
Thanks. Anyone else who wants to add into this?
I would like to add a couple of pointers. So with respect to, when we're trying to build a loyalty and sales program and taking into consideration technology, I think one of the key aspects which is missing in most of the developers case, some of them have, already done it, is the consistent engagement and, building marketing automation into the picture. So if we compare our sector with an industry like an FMCG, you see over the life cycle of an individual, the total value that an individual brings to that organization or multiple transactions would still not be equivalent to one transaction that the same buyer would does with one particular developer. So lifetime value of a customer doing one transaction, one residential purchase is much higher than compared to some of the other sectors. So what do we need to do more to engage them better? So one is, of course, consistent in key communications with the help of marketing automation that I was talking about, consistent reminders, new offers, benefits on the new launches and new products that are going to be there. But what more can be done to enhance that loyalty? They need to be felt special. They need to, for them to be loyal to your particular brand, there has to be something additional that you need to offer. And that cannot only be limited to certain benefits when a new project or a new launch comes across. It has to be actual, like the first preference, first usage, even if the benefits in terms of discounts are not there, but that right to have access on a first use basis is something that would make them special. Those engagements can be automated via the marketing automation technology platforms like SFMC, and of course there are many others also that can be incorporated. But once done, it really brings in the delight factor. The second part of the question, which essentially talks about, how to ensure repeat buyers happy with customer experience services approach, developer team first, is very, very easy to use as well. I think this is also, an augmentation of what I was and Neil was emphasizing with the usage of technology. It is a consistency in these experiences. I mean, look at the value that a buyer in this segment brings in, and then the consistent approach of an RM versus engagement, digital touch points, and the wow factor, delight factor that happens with limited set of callings, more set of value add that needs to be brought in. Information, consistent information about what is happening with the product. A lot of the times, because there's a delay in a project, RMs hesitate to reach out to the customers, or there's a lack of communication from the developers. I think it is important to be transparent. Now with RERA in place, anyways, a lot of things have already got very transparent. With IGR data available publicly, even the pricing had got become so transparent, right? So the earlier advantages that a developer would gain during a pre-launch launch phase has somehow diluted, because the pricing has also become very much transparent. So what do you do different? You do different things by being in touch with the customer, and you need to find out ways to engage with them, be it occasions which are personal, be it occasions which are related to public events, and then make them feel special. I think that is something which is not very consistent in our sector, maybe day-to-day thing in some of the other consumer facing sectors. But if you imbibe that, I think the loyalty quotient would definitely be on the rise.
Thanks, Gaurav. I think the key is providing consistent communication over time. And I think we have discussed a lot of things, right? From the communication part to the agent experience, managing channel partner communication. So it has been a very healthy discussion, and what I would want is a concluding remarks from all of you, like what would simplify the buying process or the customer communication process for real estate companies. If you can have a very brief thought about as a concluding remark, Neha, if you can start first, and accordingly we'll go across the panel.
Yeah, so basically, we really need to provide a seamless and personalized experience for the customer, starting from, the customer journey where it starts from, basically starting from the leads to actually, you know, uh, account, and then customer, and then basically buying, pre-move-in to post-move-in, and then after post-move-in also the support, that lies after. So a seamless and one-stop solution and a complete integrated approach to this whole life cycle of the customer, starting from buying to moving in, is something that we should basically provide to them, via means of apps or different types of technologies, and make it more interactive with them.
Thanks. Yeah. Meet, if you can share your concluding remarks.
Yeah, so I think we've sort of discussed it during the entire 1 hour of conversation, but one is clear and effective communication. Second is understanding customers by data and building relevant communications at the relevant life cycles. And third is leveraging technology wherever required during the entire life cycle can really create that seamless experience.
Thanks. Ram?
Yeah. So like we have touch based from the lead level to prospect and all the journeys, right? So what I could conclude is, when, like I mentioned earlier, we have to identify the right channel to communicate. Though we have a data in place, though we have a tool in place, which channel you would like to use it at which stage, right? So the couple of channels I would like to highlight here was, so that people can think through. One is a voice channel, one is a web chat or a WhatsApp chat, or in-app chats. Now that there is a app-to-app chatting as well, so someone can come and click on FAQs and chats. So these something you have to think through which channel you use. And for the metrics, to derive the metrics, like Meet mentioned, the data driven is also to be taken care. So the keyword recognitions, transcriptions, these are something you have to identify and find out the right tools, then see if you can collaborate or integrate these two tools and start engaging with the customers.
Great, Ram. And Gaurav, your concluding remarks, please.
Sure. I mean, I agree with all my fellow panelists. I think they've covered most of the things. I would just like to summarize it, with one particular statement, stating less is more. I think it's derived from one of the questions that someone had asked about too many abundance of technology, which one to use, which one not to use. I think identification and relevance of technology. Technology is critical, but its relevance with the business is something that is going to be critical. When I say less is more, it also means that whatever adoption that is being done with respect to relevance, it is in depth. It captures an end-to-end aspect of that technology and that particular use case, be it, you want to restrict it to AI or ML, you want to restrict it to usage of CRM application or the, channel partner application. But most importantly, it is to understand its end-to-end usage and get it implemented. A lot of the times, no matter how good the technology is, digital transformation suffers because the use cases were not relevant and it was not implemented end to end. So even a simpler technology, but its core implementation would lead to a better output. So that is something that I would take away. And thanks to the gentleman whosoever asked the question, the individual, I think that is the crux of what I infer from this discussion.
Great. I think it was a wonderful discussion today. The crux of it being integrating the right technologies, processing the right data, understanding your customers, supporting your partners. And I think that's what is the crux of real estate industry today, how real estate industry has been meeting the ever-changing demands of the customer, adopting the digital ecosystem, integrating the legacy systems. It's a mix of all. And it was a wonderful discussion today. Thank you all, dear panelists. And I see that we don't have any questions. And to the audience, in case you have any more questions, please write to us. Thank you for staying till here now. I thank everyone, and everyone have a wonderful day ahead. Thanks. It was great.
Yeah. So on that last note, myself, Ekta, on behalf of our partner Ozontel and our speaker panelists, Mr. Gaurav, Mr. Meet and Neha, and Mr. Ram Pradeep, thank you so much for joining and sharing lovely insights. Prantik, thank you for wonderfully moderating it. And of course, thank you, our audience, for taking out your precious time and being there with us and sharing lovely insights on the subject. We shall be sharing the entire sessions link with all the audiences and would love to reconnect you with Ozontel and team for the wonderful solutions that they spoke about for the real estate industry. So on that note, thank you so much and stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Ekta and team, for your support.
Thanks, Ekta.
Everyone.
Thanks, Prantik.
Welcome.
Thank you all.
Thank you and have a good day.
Have a good day.